This is DRF, Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Sunday, August the 29th, race number 9 at Del Mar. Let's throw up the field for the Shared Belief Stakes. 2-turn mile, $100,000 is the purse, and here he is, the horse that finished first in this year's Kentucky Derby, the number 2 Medina Spirit, who has been mired in controversy ever since. But it's not like Medina Spirit is some walkover in this race, Mike. You also have Santa Anita Derby winner Rock Your World. You've got Iowa Derby winner Stiletto Boy, and you've got graded stakes placed the Great One. This is a good field for $100 grand.
Yeah, it's true. He's not necessarily coming back in a spot where he can just, show up and sleepwalk over there. He's going to have to run to beat this field.
Let's throw up the time form US pace projector. Medina Spirit, of course, took them all the way in the Kentucky Derby. He's expected to make the lead, but Rock Your World, the number 3, is not a slow horse. Sometimes he has trouble getting out of the gate. That could be an issue with him, but if he breaks, he'll be close, and Stiletto Boy's got to be close as well.
Yeah, the pace will be interested in here. Maybe Medina Spirit will just, make it to the top here and clear off. I sort of feel like you're going to see Rock Your World trying to make the front.
One of the longer shots in the field is Sharp. That's the number 1, Willie the Cobbler, who's going to be looking for a fast pace up front. Let's watch Willie the Cobbler's win and his starter allowance on July the 16th at Del Mar. You see him on the far outside make a wide, sweeping move to win with an 83 Beyer speed figure. He is obviously going to have to improve from a Beyer standpoint as he steps up into stakes company for the first time. But if you're looking for a long shot, maybe Willie the Cobbler if you choose to.
Yeah, listen, maybe if they do hook up in front of him, it helps this horse, find the improvement that he needs to find to be competitive in here. I like his last 2 races. I just wonder if he's good enough.
Medina Spirit ran just fine in the Kentucky Derby. He was able to get to the lead, and he held them all off all the way around the track. In the Preakness, they went after him earlier, at least Midnight Bourbon did. It was interesting that Medina Spirit was kept well off of the rail on the backstretch, probably in the 3-path or so, dropped down inside. The horse that was prompting him, Midnight Bourbon, went right by him at the quarter pole. He was a tired horse, Medina Spirit, in the lane. Baffert says he's using this as a prep for the Pennsylvania Derby.
Yeah, I'm sure they're just, getting him started here, see what they got. Obviously, his good race makes him really tough in here. His Derby was a good performance. In some ways, he had all the best of it, but it was still a very game performance, and he beat a very good field that day. He was, I thought anyway, very disappointed in the Preakness. We'll see if he can bounce back.
Rock Your World handled Medina Spirit in the Santa Anita Derby 3 starts back when being able to get to the front. Very impressive performance, first-time dirt earning a triple-digit Beyer speed figure. The Derby was just a disaster. I would draw a line through that race. He didn't break very well. He didn't get close to the front. He didn't get close at all. The Belmont, he pushed a very solid pace as well, Mike, and he, I think, is going to benefit from this layoff. It's all about how he breaks.
It is. It's that. I think it's, in some ways, at least in my opinion, Dan, and maybe I'm wrong about this, I still think it's all about whether or not he's a dirt horse. I know he's a Grade 1 winner on dirt when, they sort of conceded the lead to him in the Santa Anita Derby and he never stopped. I get that he had an excuse in the Derby. He still did no running that day. The pace was fast in the Belmont. He tired very badly that day. I think there's an argument to be made that this horse is way better on the grass, and I wonder if we'll ever see him back on that surface.
Team Merchants, the number 4, has won his last 2 races on dirt, including a victory at Del Mar on July the 16th. Let's watch that effort right now. Now winners of one other, then going 6.5 furlongs. Team Merchants on the outside has already taken this thing over at a gigantic price, turning into the stretch, and is going to hold gamely. 91 Beyer speed figure, by far the career best for Team Merchants, who stretches out for the first time.
Yeah, he ran well in here. He can't get away from this horse. That's the favorite down to his inside there. He can't really get away from that horse, but I don't know. I still thought he ran, pretty well in there with a big figure. This horse was good as a 2-year-old. His 2 starts at Saratoga last summer were good, and he beat a good field breaking his maiden. He doesn't have a ton of pedigree to stretch out, so it'll be interesting to see what he does, but this horse has some talent.
The Great One almost pulled off a gigantic shocker as a maiden in the Grade 2 Los Alamitos Futurity. Probably not the strongest Los Alamitos Futurity, but he ran very well and then backed that up with a dominant maiden victory. Now, they tried him in 2 graded stakes races after that. He finished well behind Medina Spirit in the San Felipe, well behind Rock Your World in the Santa Anita Derby. I think this horse has a little bit of ability. He's coming off the layoff. It'll be interesting to see what we get out of him, especially from a pace standpoint.
Yeah, that was my concern with him. Even if you feel like he's set to, he's had some time off now and he's set to really improve, he does feel like a horse who wants to be on the lead, and that might be hard for him to get.
Turf to dirt for the 6 Stiletto Boy, who also removes blinkers. Let's go back to his most recent dirt start. Back in the Iowa Derby, a $250,000 race. Stiletto Boy was 16-1 in this race. I thought Speed did very well on the day. Stiletto Boy was able to get to the lead under Jose Ortiz, and nobody's making up any ground.
Right. Another horse who shook loose for his big win here in the Iowa Derby. He's got 2 wins on his card both times, and he was able to get clear on the early lead. And it feels like that can't happen here. He's a pretty good horse, though, and he's going to be a price.
Top pick time for the Sunday race of the day. We'll see how Medina Spirit comes back off the layoff. I think we're going to go with Medina Spirit on top, Mike. You're going 2-3. I'm going 2-6. I wouldn't go too short on the tote, however, with him.
I wouldn't either. I just didn't, see the alternative that I was necessarily dying to take a shot against him with, so I just put him on top.
We'll see if Medina Spirit successfully preps for the Pennsylvania Derby as he begins the second half of his season in Sunday's Shared Belief.